Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer.com. Today on our 2016 Nissan Versa Note, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit for towed vehicles. Now for the Nissan Versa Note, you're going to need 7 main components to be able to flat tow it down the road. You're going to need a tow bar, a base plate, safety cables, a diode wiring kit, a braking system, a battery charge line, and a brake light relay. The reason that we're going to need a brake light relay for our Versa is simple. Whenever we're flat towing our Versa down the road, and we're in our motorhome and use our turn signal, whenever we apply the brake in our motorhome, that's actually going to override our turn signal. So on the back of our car, we're not going to have our turn signals flashing when we need them to. But with the brake light relay installed, that brake signal from our motorhome is not going to override our towed vehicle's turn signal. And that's going to let other motorists know what our intentions are. And this is what our brake light relay kit is going to look like once it's installed. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that together now. To wire up the brake light relay, the first thing that we're going to have to do is identify a couple of power sources. The first one being the brake light signal. Now there's going to be a switch up along your brake pedal arm, and it's going to have 2 wires going into the plug, a green one and a blue one. Now I went ahead and just disconnected our plug to get it to drop down a little bit and make it easier to see. And here's the green and blue wires that I was talking about. Our brake light signal is going to be this green wire, and that's the wire that we're going to be working with. The next thing we need to do is identify a power source over here on our fuse block. And this is on the side of our dash on the driver's side. Now what we're looking for is a fuse that only has power when the key is in the accessory run position. So to find that out, you'll turn your key all the way forward without starting the vehicle and use a test light and check and see which fuses have power. Once you identify one, you turn that key off and make sure that the power goes away. Now the one that we're going to be using is this empty slot right here. So what you're going to do now is take your included fuse tab and your included length of red wire and connect that length of red wire to the pre-installed blue butt connector here. And you can just drop that wire down to the floorboard. Then you're going to take the included 10 amp fuse and put that in one of the spots. And since our location didn't have a fuse in it, what I did was I just grabbed an extra 10 amp fuse and put it in its place. However, if your vehicle does have a fuse in that location, what you would do is pull it out and put it right here in this position on the fuse tap closest to the ends of the tap. And then you would take the included 10 and put it above that factory fuse. Once that's done, you can drop it down and then simply just plug it in. And here's where our red wire dropped down from our fuse block. What we're going to do is use one of the butt connectors to connect it to the red wire that comes out of our brake light relay. The white wire coming out of the brake light relay is going to be a ground wire, and I have that connected to a green wire that runs outside into the engine compartment where I have it grounded. So now back to our brake light switch, which is the green wire. You're going to want to cut that in half. Now on the half that is furthest away from the electrical connector itself, what you're going to do is connect the black wire that comes from our brake light relay to that end of the wire. Now for the other end of the green wire, the end that is closest to the electrical connector, you're going to connect the green wire from the brake light relay. Now if you have a push button start, the only difference would be that you're going to use the blue wire to make that connection there instead of the green. However, since we have a regular key, we're using the green. Now, if you are putting in a braking system at this same time that does use an indicator light, what you would do is take your indicator light wiring and you're going to take the small red wire from the indicator light and actually tie that into the green wire from our brake light relay. And with all of your wires hooked up, you can then tidy everything up with some electrical tape and zip ties and plug your brake light signal connector back in. And that'll do it for our look at and our installation of the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit for towed vehicles on our 2016 Nissan Versa Note.